Our glories to the Son glories. Glories to the Son glories. Our glories to the Son glories. Our glories to Shri Guru and Guranga. Today the topic is the ISKCON 50th anniversary, and we will read from this magazine on the 50th anniversary, and so this morning we'll hear all the highlights. And in the evening we'll hear more of a detailed description of the early days and how it developed. So, 1965, Srila Prabhupada was about 70 years old. He left Vrindavan and went on a Jaladuta, arrived alone in New York City with a mission of his spiritual master, Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, to give Bhakti Yoga, which was very revolutionary spiritual science for the Western countries. So he brought with him 3 Bhagavatams. You can see the cover there. It's the lotus flower on the right middle. He brought the first canto, which is in 3 parts. He brought this Bhagavatam on the boat with him. Practically, that's all he brought. Practically no money, and his Bhagavatams. And if you read those Bhagavatams, in the first page, he quoted one verse from the first canto. Tadva visarga janalaka viplavo yasmin patishokam abhagyavatyavi navanyalantasya yashokitaniya shinanti gayanti finanti sarva. That means that those words which describe the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead can create a revolution in the hearts of this world's misguided civilization. So we were revolutionaries to peace. We were rebelling against the establishment. And our motto was, don't trust anyone over 30. And we never thought we would be 30. But here was somebody who was 70, and we were trusting him because he was the real thing. He was a pure devotee of Lord Krishna. And so we trusted him. And he wanted to create a revolution, just like we did. We were all into revolution, and so was Srila Prabhupada, and he was the real revolutionary, because even I saw from my experience that those who wanted the revolution were practically no different from those who they wanted to fight against. They had the same philosophy, to eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy. But Srila Prabhupada was different, and he gave us a spiritual revolution. So, over the next 12 years, he would tirelessly travel, speak and chant Krishna's name, and write numerous books. So, because he was loyal to his spiritual master and his teachings, then he had the power. He said, purity is the force. Books are the basis. Preaching is the essence. Utility is the principle. So, he was not, although he came from a very high culture in India, he did not impose the rules and regulations on us. He saw we were a completely different culture. And so he applied the philosophy with compassion. So Dr. Thomas J. Hopkins, he was professor at Franklin and Marshall College in USA, said Prabhupada's a genuine holy person with enormous integrity and compassion. He never claimed authority and respect for himself, what he said and did was always in the name of Krishna. So Dr. Harry Cox, who is a professor of divinity at Harvard University, said, when I first met the students of Srila Prabhupada, I can remember thinking how surprised I was. So this is Prabhupada in one of his many arrivals coming out of an airplane. So you will have pictures as well as text. So Dr. Hari Cox said, I wonder what this meant, but as I came to know the Hare Krishna movement, I came to find there's a striking similarity in the essence of what they are teaching and in the original core of Christianity, and that is living simply, not trying to accumulate worldly goods, living with compassion toward all creatures, sharing, loving, and living joyfully. I'm impressed how much the teachings of one man and the spiritual tradition he brought impacted themselves into the lives of so many people. In my view, Prabhupada's contribution is a very important and lasting one. He is only one of thousands of teachers, but in another sense, he is one in 1,000, maybe 1 in 1,000,000. So this was Harvey Cox. He came in the early days to see the devotees, and he was really surprised at what he found. So in 1971, Srila Prabhupada went to Russia. Here you see this picture in Red Square of Srila Prabhupada, and he preached to one Indian and one Russian, and that Russian became a devotee. In 3 days he gave the whole philosophy to this one Russian, Ananta Shanti. He has since left his body, he's no longer with us. And one of my god-sisters was sent by Prabhupada to marry him and train him further. So she went there and got married to him, and she was teaching him all of the basics of Krishna consciousness, and then the movement spread in Russia. So here we have Prabhupada in Paris, France. And what happened when the devotees came to the airport in Paris, at the same time that Prabhupada came, the Indian ambassador came on the same plane, and the mayor's secretary came to the devotees and said, we didn't have any greeting for the ambassador, can you people arrange it? So the devotees went and they garlanded the ambassador and they greeted him. And she said, she was so thankful, she said, well, is there anything I can do for you? They said, yes. You have your mayor greet Srila Prabhupada in this mayor's office in the city hall. So she agreed. And they had a meeting. Prabhupada came to the city hall, a big ornate building, and they greeted him. And actually, there was a etiquette that when the mayor came in, everybody was supposed to stand up, and the mayor would say something, and then the other person would say something and they would sit down. So the mayor came in, Prabhupada didn't stand up, and the mayor was a bit nervous about that, but then he just went on with his speech, and then after he finished, Prabhupada stood up and gave his speech. So he didn't follow the etiquette of because they said to Prabhupada, so you need to stand up. He said, I have to stand up for home. So Prabhupada was very unique in that respect. So now we have a whole page of achievements in 50 years. And I'll see if you can guess how many ISKCON centers. In those days it was about 108. That was the prediction when Prabhupada was born. He would open 108 temples. So how many temples, schools, colleges are there nowadays? Can anybody guess?
It's 600.
650, you saw. Oh, you read the book. Oh, you know. Yeah. Oh, you did the achievements. Did it?
Yeah, I mean, this has been, anyway, I've read.
Oh, you had the book. Oh, okay, okay. Okay, how many books distributed? See, you know, you're a book distributor.
520 million?
Yeah, very close. 516 million. Half a billion. Half a billion books. How many devotees have taken initiation? since 50 years.
It's around 66,000 or something like that.
No, 95,000.
Okay.
Because His Holiness Jayapataka Maharaj, he initiates whole villages
Mm.
in Bengal. He goes there and the whole village takes initiation.
Now it's 50,000 devotees.
He has. So yeah, half of it is Jayapataka Maharaj, 50,000. Okay, how many Bhakti Vriksha groups worldwide? 3,600. I'll ask you again at night and then you'll do better. We'll have a repeat performance of this page. How many vegetarian restaurants? 110. How many people worship at the ISKCON temples each year? How many people come to the temples?
I heard 10 million.
9 million, but it's probably around 10. Yeah. With India, it's so much. How many meals of vegetarian food have been served since 1966?
Billions and a few billions.
3 billion. How many meals of vegetarian food are served daily to children in India as part of the ISKCON food relief midday meal?
1 million?
Yeah, 1.2 million. How many farms?
65.
65, very good. How many festivals around the world?
1 continuous festival.
Yeah, we are in Goloka Vrindavan, 6,000. How many patients in Bhaktivedanta Hospital in last year? And ISKCON affiliated hospitals, medical clinics, eye clinics, hospices. 212,992 patients. How many kilometers have Padayatra walked? All the Padayatras.
Billions?
No, not much. 260,000. In 152,000 towns and villages in 110 countries. Are you in kilometers or miles over here?
Kilometers.
Yeah, so 161,000. Yeah, not so much. 6 times the Earth's circumference. 6.5. Okay.
I have a little problem with the order in which this is normally presented, these figures.
Oh, the order, okay.
Like for example, if you would ask how big is a Christian church here in Denmark, the immediate answer would be 4 million people. They will not say, well, we have 9,000 churches, this is how big the church is. Or they wouldn't say either, we have 8,000 priests. They would immediately say the number of congregation. So I'd say in this, if you ask how big is a high Christian movement, we 10 million people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and
For sure.
it seems to me
More than 10, I would say.
more than 10, but at least
Double, I would say double.
Yeah. But it's kind of, I think it's psychologically wrong, and I told that to the communications to present first buildings, then the initiates, and somewhere down the line the regular members.
Yeah, that's true, it's at the bottom of the page.
Yeah, and it sends out the wrong signal.
Mm-hmm.
First of all,
That's true.
it's to the outside world, it's not very impressive 600 temples. The Danish church here has 10,000 churches just in this little country.
Right.
And
10,000.
yeah, easily. So actually, 600 temples as such is not very impressive, but 10 million people is substantial.
Yeah, that's substantial.
And also it has that actually in this order we actually put down most of the members who are. They're actually saying we don't really count. You don't really.
Yeah, Bhakti Vriksha.
Yeah. That's just my comment.
Yeah, that's a very good point of view. I agree with you. Yeah, it's like, whoever did the layout,
It's just communications. It's their figures.
It's communications. Yeah, that's a very good point for them to know, to think about. Okay, temples. Now here's one in Spanish Fork, Utah, up here. That's a new one. And it's in the heart of the Mormon country. the head of the Mormon church, and all the Mormons live there in that state, Salt Lake City. And a very interesting point was that in 1949 or 48, the leader of their church had a vision or a dream or something, and he saw that this temple is going to be built in the future. He saw the ISKCON temple. And he told his members that, yes, there will be a very wonderful temple built here in the future. And he didn't say whether it was Mormon or not. He said a very beautiful temple. And so when they were building the temple, the Mormons contributed, I think, at least $25,000 for the temple, and they also helped to build it too. A lot of them were helping to build it. And they performed Holi, then 100,000 people come for that Holi festival. All the Mormons come for Holi. So it's very successful preaching there in Utah. Now I don't know if you can see, there's Bhaktivedanta Manor at the bottom here, and there's Kathmandu, Nepal here at the top, and there is this temple in Penang, Malaysia, and the other ones are really small. So these are some of our temples, and there are some more here. This one is Vrindavan, Samadhi, on this page. This is in South Africa, Radharani Temple, Durban, South Africa. And then there's smaller temples, Brazil, Delhi, and Nairobi, big temples. So now they wrote an article, What We Believe. There are 8 basic principles that they gleaned. By sincerely cultivating spiritual knowledge, we can be free from anxiety and reach a state of pure happiness. So that is one principle. Who is this? I can say who this is written by. Number 2, we are not our bodies, but eternal souls, part and parcel of God, Krishna. The soul transmigrates into different bodies according to the consciousness at the time of death. As eternal souls, we're all brothers and sisters, and Krishna is ultimately our common Father. So they're saying these are the basic principles. Number 3, Krishna is eternal, all-knowing, omnipresent, all-powerful, and all-attractive. Yes, he is the Father of all living beings, sustains the entire cosmic creation. He's also known as God, the Father, Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, and Yahweh. 4, the absolute truth is revealed in the Vedas, the oldest scriptures in the world. The essence of the Vedas is found in Bhagavad Gita, a literal record of Krishna's words. 5, we gain spiritual knowledge from a genuine spiritual master. 6, practicing vegetarianism and offering all our food to God before eating purifies our consciousness, minimizes the violence in the world, and frees us from bad karma, our material reactions. 7, all our actions should be done as offerings to Krishna and not for selfish motives. 8, the best way to attain self-realization and pure love of God in this age of quarrel and hypocrisy is to chant His holy names. The easiest method for most people is to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, or the great mantra for deliverance. Okay, what next? Here we have Harinam Sankirtan. And this is His Holiness Indadumna Swami in Tokyo, Japan. So we had a wonderful Harinam there, and there's another one with young boys singing and dancing there. This one is in UK, London, the youth are there. This is in Moscow, but now I don't know if they will be allowed to chant, because Putin made a new law that restricts all religious activities to the church only. You cannot do anything in your house or outside on the street. New law, just last week or the week before, I think it was last week, the law was signed. And immediately the Christians started fasting, thousands of them, because Jehovah's Witness, they like to preach house, door to door. So they started fasting. Anyway, So, and yeah, it's kind of like when the KGB was there. If you see someone doing it, then you should report it, and if you don't report it, then you get punished too. So this is the new law in Russia. Then here we have Harinam in Germany, Australia, and this is Germany. Yeah, this is also Germany. Germany here, also talking about in Germany, middle of Australia, on the beach. Australia is famous for its beaches. Oh, and this is the education, one child in one of our schools. We have so many schools now. And the Avanti, Krishna Avanti schools in UK. And there's a picture, I don't know if you can see it, the Queen and the Prince are there seeing a performance at the Avanti school. So these schools are very, very popular. We also have VIHE, MIHE, and down in Mayapur. And we have the Oxford Institute has been established. So, although only 50 years old, ISKCON is part of the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition, that we all know. And here they say this picture is in Tompkins Square Park, but I don't think so, because Jagannath is there. They didn't have Jagannath, and that was San Francisco. It looks to me like this picture was taken in San Francisco. If you see the video of Prabhupada 1967, he's in the middle, he's surrounded by hippies. He's in the middle and they're all dancing around him, boys and girls holding hands, and he's just beaming, he's just so happy. He's just like, he's giving he said, now my movement is established in America. But yeah, he changed the hippies into happies. So, after many years of family life, 1954, here's the dates. Srila Prabhupada took the renounced order. No, he took Vanaprastha in 59, he took sannyas. 65, he sailed to America. 66, they had their first Harinam Sankirtan in the streets of New York, in the park of New York. And also the incorporation of ISKCON, which we will go more into detail this evening. And he went to San Francisco. He participated in the mantra rock dance, which was another hippie happening with all the famous rock bands of America, and also Allen Ginsberg. 68, he sent 3 couples to London to preach. And very soon after, a couple of years later, they released a record by the Apple Records, by the Beatles, of Hare Krishna Mantra. It sold 70,000 copies on the first day that this record was released. Some of you don't know what a record is. Maybe. Do they still have them? I don't know.
Yeah.
They do, okay. Then you may know. That's what a record is. The DJs have them, is it?
Everybody has them.
Really?
Everybody.
Oh.
It's a trend. It's like
Oh, now it's back to the records. After going through cassette tapes and CDs, and now it's MP3s, and now it's back to the records. Interesting. Okay. Because a few years ago I asked devotees if they knew what a record player was, it was a blank. So it must be a new thing. Yeah, so it was a record that was released, 45, not a long playing. Yeah, long playing, 16 minutes or 45, it was a small one, or 45 inch, I don't know what it was, but it didn't play 45 minutes, that's for sure. It was just like 5 or 10 minutes. Very, very short record, because I got it, I know. And so, in 1960, they were the top of the pops. They appeared singing Hare Krishna Mantra. September 1969, Prabhupada went to London to visit. He stayed at John Lennon's estate and discussed with him and Yoko Ono. And by early 1970s, he had centers in USA, UK, Europe, India, Well, India, it came in 1970. South America, Australia, and Africa. And most of them had ashrams for brahmacharis and brahmacharinis. In 1970, he also started the GBC. And there was one lecture I remember he gave that now we are 500. So we can, I think something like conquer the world, he said, and that's how we felt. We all felt like we were going to conquer the world with Krishna consciousness, and because that was Prabhupada's mood, he wanted to conquer the world. And it happened, and it happened. And we were, said 500, it's so much, they thought we were thousands, but we were only 500 people, But because we were out on the streets every day, then they thought we were so many. In 70 he went to India. In 71, 72 he established Mayapur, Vrindavan, and Bombay. In 1971 he signed a contract with Macmillan and published his Bhagavad Gita. And a month later he visited Russia. And so Indira Gandhi also met him in August 75. And 75 also he founded the Bhaktivinoda Institute, PhDs. So 1997, this is after, of course, the Oxford Center for Hindu Studies. So here we have also the next generation. This is all second generation devotees, all born in ISKCON. And the leader is Manoram Das, and he's ISKCON's Minister for Youth. And he said, he was telling about their experience in Mexico, this was last year. The youth put on a play about Bhagavad Gita, and afterwards the hotel owner insisted on buying 200 copies of the book to put in each of his rooms. So it was a very powerful presentation. It's at times like these we realize we have something special. So now this is Prasadam. This is in Australia. They have 2 restaurants there. One is all you can eat for $7.50. And another one is a regular restaurant. So that is very popular in Australia. Each of those restaurants get over $2,000, sometimes $3,000 a day. Because I was there and they announced the scores, Lakshmi points.
Okay, they must have more than 2 restaurants.
No, they just have 2.
In Australia?
In Melbourne. This is in Melbourne. Yeah, in Australia they have more. But two in Melbourne. That was in Melbourne. In Australia, what I could see is their whole movement is financed by prasad distribution. The farm was way in debt, and then they started doing catering for the big festivals. And for other people, on a weekend, then they get in like $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 just on a weekend by going to those festivals and catering for them. So that is Australia. They must be the leader in Food for Life. Of course, they're charging for it. I think recently in Woodstock in Poland, they distributed 250,000, something like that, plates in a weekend. So that is also going on. And so how this started, Srila Prabhupada was in Mayapur, and he saw in the garbage the dogs were going for the scraps, and the children were fighting with the dogs to eat the scraps in Mayapur. And then he started Food for Life, and he said no one should go hungry within